everybody, Joy here. It is Sunday, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Jerry and I sat right here this morning and did an over 30-minute devotion. Yes, I swear, I love it when Jerry's in a talking mood. And we don't just sit and talk a lot of times. We'll lay in bed and talk, but we never just sit and talk because he's always in the barn and I'm always up here. See, you get it? So before we started this morning, Jerry said, I want to talk to you about this. And I'm like, you do? So check out my Shine channel if you want to hear what we talked about this morning. I told a story at the end. So for those of you who like my stories, there's one there. My quilt. You see my quilt. It's all sewn together. It's all done except for the, not the sashing, what do you call the skinny border? It's all done except the skinny border and the wide border. I've changed completely from what you saw in my last video. Most of you were so nice and said you really liked the big fall print I picked for the wide border. Thank you, thank you. I really like that too. But I decided I probably didn't know if it was the best choice or not. And it was hard for me to crawl around the floor and try to put the fabrics down. So I finally decided to just take the bolts of all the ones that I wanted to try and just unroll the fabric from it. And I moved the quilt over and I draped the wide border and the skinny border up here on the board. And just for you, I took pictures of every single one that I tried. So I'm going to show them to you here, but I wanted to ask you a favor first. Would you all do me a favor? I am so bad about giving people thumbs up on their videos. You know, I always watch Becky, I always watch Tomcat, I always watch that darling little girl Elisa, and I never give anybody a thumbs up. I just don't think about it. You know, I think, well, surely they can see I'm watching this and they can see my comment below. Obviously, I like it. Even Viv. I just never think of it. But you know who thinks of it? YouTube does. So, if you would please just stop me right now and go down under this video and push that thumbs up button. It would make me so happy because it would mean I would get a little bigger check. My checks get smaller and smaller every month. You do know YouTube pays, right? Because of the little commercials you have to watch. Hey, do me a favor and actually watch a commercial. I noticed that a lot of YouTubers are putting many commercials in their videos. You know, the fishing people that we watch all the time because Jerry and I both love to fish. They'll talk for a few minutes commercial, talk for a few minutes commercial, talk for a few minutes commercial. It doesn't really bother me as long as I can hit the button and skip them. So, I will make the commercials skippable. But, if you ever get a chance, let one play out. I'd like to see if I would get more money if somebody would actually watch a commercial. I don't know, I'm not a YouTube expert. But I do get a check every month. Actually, today is the 21st. I get a check every month on the 21st. They're not a lot of money. They're a lot of money if a lot of people watch me. You get paid by how many people watch you. Now, I've got 20,500 subscribers, but I don't have near that many people watching me. I don't know where all of those people went, but they probably got sick of watching me. How many blouses do you want to watch somebody make anyway? How many yoga pants? What's wrong with my voice is the heaters. When the heaters come on, the first thing I do is make my entire house dusty. Ugh. I wait until it's so cold I can't stand it to even turn them on. But then they affect my sinuses too. So I've been a mess since the heaters have come on. So anyway, I don't know what happened to my 20,000 people, but I think I'll do a giveaway. If I can get 1,000 thumbs up, and I doubt that I can, those 1,000 people don't even watch me, I don't know. When you have a YouTube channel, there's a place you can go to look at the analyticals, and it will show you all these lines and all these bars and charts and stuff of how many people watch you and whether they liked you or they hated you and how many minutes they watched you, and stuff like that just upsets me. I don't want to see it. I don't make my videos for that reason. I make my videos because I love talking to you. I love your feedback to me, and you'll hear all of the YouTubers say that. It is just awesome. It's kind of like having a pen pal. A pen pal, only you're a video pal, see? The only thing better would be is if you made a video and then I could go watch it. And then we could be video pals for sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the pictures of all the variations that I hung up on this board. I just did it yesterday. And I took a picture of every one. So following right now, you're just going to see picture after picture after picture after picture after picture after picture. There's probably 10 of them, maybe 8, I don't know. But each one has a different combination of an outer border and an inner border. Jerry came up yesterday as I was putting all of these fabrics up there and taking pictures of them. And I said, oh, Jerry, I want you to tell me what one. Can you tell me what one? I said, I've already taken them down. No. But I took pictures of all of them. So he sat down and he went through every single picture and he chose one. It's not the one I would have chosen. Actually, it's the one Avondra chose. I said, have you been talking to Jerry? So that's what I'm going to use. But I want you to look at all of them. I'm not sure if the original print is going to be in this lineup of pictures. But if you quilt, if you're interested, this is called stepping on your board and knocking it over. This is called auditioning borders right here. Tell me in the comments below what one you think Jerry picked, huh? This is an insert. You remember all of these blocks. All these extra blocks you remember that I made that I didn't use? Guess what I found out I can do with them? I'm so excited. Some of mine have the bunny ears trimmed and they're down to 9 1/4. Some of them, not very many of them. This one is still the 10 inches sewn together and it hasn't been trimmed yet. So you can see the 9 1/4 trimmed one is smaller than the untrimmed. But it doesn't matter because guess what I found out I can do? I'm so excited. This room is such a mess, my goodness. But it means that there is a quilt or 2 or 3 or 4 in progress. So I'm going to use my new Quilter Select 8 1/2. Start with a new blade, which I never do. Okay, so figure out which number is 4 1/2. It's the one at the top. So I'm going to line it up with 4. See, it seems like you ought to line it up with the 1/2 after the 4, but you don't. You line it up with the 4, but you have to line it up with the right 4. I actually took another measuring tape and I put it up against this to figure out where 4 1/2 was. I just think that's so screwy. And what about going the other way? We want to cut this 4 1/2 by 4 1/2. So I have to do the same thing going the other way. And it's different. Oh my Lord. So you use the black 4 here. There's 1, 2, 3. All right, make sure that you start with 2 1s up here in the upper right-hand corner. Start with 2 1s. There's a 1 and an 8. There's a 1 and an 8 and a 1 and an 8. But right here is a 1 and a 1. So make sure you've got the 1 and the 1 up there at the top. And we are going to go to that same 4 there and the same 4 here. So I'm going to show you 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. You might want to take some colored tape, and I think I'm going to do that. Let me show you up close. Okay, so here it is. So you can see, let me get my pokey thingy. You can see that here's a 4 and here's a 4. And up here you can see here's a 4 and here's a 4. One of them is 4 inches, one of them is 4.5 inches. Very confusing. So you actually 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. So I figured out it's that 4. And then also going the other direction, it's this clear 4, not the dark 4. Be very, very sure. Otherwise you'll end up with a whole bunch of 3.5 inch blocks instead of 4 inch blocks. So I've got you right on top here where you can see real close. Right here. I don't know why I'm so chintzy with blades. I think it's because they're so expensive. Now you can't keep going. What we're going to do is get 2 4.5 inch blocks out of this 9¼ inch block. Okay, there's one, 4¼ inches. Then flip it around. We're going to get 4 4.5 inch blocks out of this, if you can believe it. Line up the diagonal. If the sides are off, they're off. Line up the diagonal and then trim the sides. All right, 4.5. There's another 4.5. Now you've got this left. There's 2 more 4.5s here. So I'm going to cut those too. What are you going to do with those, Joy? I don't know. Save the world. I'm going to save the world. Yeah, I wish. Well, at least I'm going to save a little fabric. See there? There's another 4.5. Now I have 3. Here's one more. This has some plain blocks in it, so depending on what ones I decide to use. There's no diagonal in these now. These are just solid. 4.5 by 4.5. There's my 4th block, and I've got this much waste. That much waste. Isn't that awesome? So that's what I'm going to do. Many of you informed me that my lightning fast mind was not working too good that day. That fat quarters are not 9 inches. They're 18 by 22 inches. So a lot of my fat quarters will actually work for my next quilt. I just unwound a few of them and they were 9 inches. Well, that's an actual quarter cut yard straight across the fabric. And so once I did that, I thought, oh no, they're all only 9 inches. So I went through and I just pulled out the ones that were longer than 9 inches and I used those. So they weren't fat quarters, they were just yardages. So all the ones that I didn't use because I thought they were 9 inches, I still can use. So I'm going to start another carpenter's wheel with 2 wheels this time. I'm super excited. End of insert. Okay, I want to tell you about the board. I've already forgotten what it's called. I think it's called a design wall. This is the case that the whole thing fits in. And please, pardon my voice. It is called Cheryl Ann's Design Wall Portable Freestanding. You can find this in my Amazon store under quilting supplies. There's one that's 54 inches, I think it is, and then there's the 72 inch. And this is the 72 inch. I would recommend this one. The other one would be way too small for the stuff I make. So this is 72 inch square. Right now, it's marked down from $150 to $119. And I'm not associated with them in any way. I'll give a few pennies if you do buy it. I'll tell you how much I made this month from my Amazon store. 0. That's how much I made. So it's not much, but won't cost you any more if you buy it in my store. You can just go there and buy it however you want to, okay? So I wanted to tell you about that Cheryl Ann's design wall, 2 sizes. My voice is getting so scratchy, I can't even talk today. So I'm gonna let you go. Let me know what you think about the borders, okay? Tomorrow is our last day here to get the RV all ready to go, hook up the Jeep to the back of the RV. We will have it completely, totally ready to get in and drive. So all we have to do on Tuesday morning is wake up, jump in the RV, and take off. Oh, praise God forevermore. What a Thanksgiving this is going to be. This great grandma and grandma is going to be very thankful. Love y'all. Bye for now.